kind of hard to believe prom season is right now with these temperatures.
Do you have a date yet?
I'm still holding out for the right one.
Maybe someday you'll luck out.
Maybe my prince will find me.
Your prince will come?
Yeah.
That's what you're going for? Well, while much of the focus is on the dress, what you do with your hair can make or break your look.
For a girl.
Okay, good. I'm glad you clarified.
That is why Melissa Shriver's at Christopher's this morning. They have some really good prom updo looks. How's it going, Melissa?
Oh, great. I have to share this fun fact with you this morning. We glamour girls, I know a lot of guys complain that girls spend a lot of time in the bathroom getting ready every morning. Well, get this. Glamour girls like us spend typically an hour and 53 minutes every week just blow drying and doing our hair. But that adds up. By the time you're 65, you would have spent 7 months in the bathroom doing your hair. Something to think about as you're heading out to breakfast this morning. Hey, we're talking prom updos like we just said. And you know, we're over here at Christopher's. Chris Kuchar is the owner and a stylist here. And we're talking a little bit about how you choose the updo for you. It really comes down to planning, knowing what you have as far as your dress. What other things should we be considering when we're talking about choosing the right updo for prom?
Well, what's really popular right now, we're talking about like the half bun on the side with a little bit of curl. Also working with the facial structure, what your dress is like. If it's an asymmetric dress, it's kind of nice to have a little bit off to the side. If it's off the shoulder, you can have the hair fall into the back. If it's all the way up, you know, with the collar, you might want to have the hair completely put up, because if you do, it will keep the collar showing, and a lot of times they're very pretty. So.
Oh, it really comes down to your haircut too. Leanne here is our model today. She has short hair, so what are her options?
Well, Leanne came in and wanted to have her hair put up half and half of it down, which will work really well because we can get a bit of volume right in through here. We can bring the sides back, blend it in a bit, and have a little bit of softness so it'll flow into the back and give her a bit of curl.
Very good. And we're showing you a couple of different trending hairstyles right now. The big trends these days, it seems like, is the side bun and the side ponytail.
Yes.
Is that something that just complements the face more, or why are people moving towards that?
Oh, it's like any trend. A lot of times someone famous is starting to wear it, and it's something that they kind of like to wear. People see it and they're like, oh, I really would like to have that. So that it becomes a popular thing across the country. And it seems like manufacturers will set up different things and try to set up different trends, and they're the ones that will actually do it. Also with the clothing lines that come out and the prom dos that go along with the prom dresses, it starts talking about what's popular, again, like on the collars, where the back will lay. If it's asymmetric, you know, like Michelle Obama had the off-the-shoulder look, which also caused the trends to go slightly diagonal, because people really like that.
Well, it's really interesting how you plan, and you really have to plan for the dress, you have to plan for your hairstyle. What else do you need to plan for? We're talking scheduling too, aren't we?
I agree. I think scheduling is one of the most important things that you can do. If you're doing a prom, or if you're going to be working with your wedding, make sure and plan it ahead, like especially on weddings, because a lot of the wedding parties are very large, you know, 6 to 10 people, and you want to make sure that there's enough time in the salon that can be taken care of for your hair, your makeup. Make sure your nails and your pedicures, all of those things are done beforehand. You know, a lot of salons offer many services, and if you follow through on those many services, you'll need to schedule ahead, you know, so you can get the time that works for you, plus the stylist that you'd like to work with.
And that makes a big difference when you're coming up towards a stressful day like your wedding or prom. Now, coming up in the next half hour, we're going to be talking a little bit more about prom updos. We're going to be talking to you about what you need to know before you even reach your hairstylist, and we're going to be checking in with Leanne's hairdo to see how she looks. And I might even take the chair later this morning. Guys?
Right. I always made sure I wore a button-up shirt so that you didn't have to pull it back over your hair and mess it all up. That was probably my biggest tip for all the prom goers this year.
I'm glad I'm a boy. It takes
I'm glad you are too, Chad.
30 seconds to do my hair. Yeah. Prom, no prom, whatever.
Done. Girls might want to wear a little bit of a cover-up for their prom dress if it's going to stay like this.
Yes, because prom season is here.
It's here. And while much of the focus is usually on the dress, what you do with your hair and your nails and the whole rest of the ensemble can make or break your look. KHQA's Melissa Shriver is live at Christopher's right here in Quincy this morning. She's getting some expert advice on the hairdo. Melissa?
You're right. It's those details that count, isn't it? And you've got to listen up. If you're cooking breakfast, stop this and listen. According to a Pantene survey back in 2010, you're more likely, 56% more likely, to be more mad at your hair than your significant other, if you can believe it. But the guy that knows all about how to make your hair do what it wants, well, I guess what you want it to do, is Chris Kuchar. He's the owner and a stylist here at Christopher's in Quincy. Christopher, when you come in and you want your prom or wedding hairdo, what kinds of things do you need to know or bring with you?
Well, it's okay to have your hair style in mind if you'd like. You can come in and have a direct idea, and you can say, I want my hair this way or that way, or I want the side ponytail, which is kind of trendy right now. Or you can pull it up and do a half up and half down style like we've done with Leanne because of her hair being shorter. We needed to do that. Or you can actually come in, and a lot of the salons have books that you can work with, like the Inspire book that you showed earlier. It can be options on how your hair structure is. You know, it can be, if you've got very fine hair, you won't be able to make very large hair, but if you've got extremely thick hair, you're not going to be able to make it really, really tight and close. So all those things have to be played into suit. You also have to look at what you're going to be wearing. If you're going to be wearing a off-the-shoulder type of a look or a diagonal in your outfit, or if you've got a high collar, you might want to wear your style up. So it's just depending on really all of those variables, you know, when you're working with the hair.
Well, obviously, Leanne looks really good right now. We went with a half up and half down look. One thing that was interesting about this is that you don't necessarily want to have clean hair when you go to your stylist for an updo.
Well, that is true because you don't want to come in with a very greasy and oily and, you know, like a week and a half that you haven't shampooed. That's going to, you know, you just don't want to do that because you're going to feel uncomfortable. But what you really want to do is have a hair that maybe the day before you shampooed, because the texture of that hair, like Leanne's hair, I had to actually put a lot of hairspray on it to get that texture into it so it's a workable, you know, type of a medium, because it's a fiber that we work with, that we create these styles and designs. You know, we want to create a soft, you know, movement to the hair, and you can see the lines going back with the soft curl in the back. It just gives her something, you know, that she can work with.
A lot of these hairstyles, although a lot of people decide to go to the stylist, they do have some people that are very good at doing it at home. What are some things that people need to realize, though, if they do decide to do this type of a style at home? What do they need to remember?
Well, to begin with, you want to make sure and create a foundation with backcombing. If you do backcombing, it's teasing, backcombing, you know, the same concept. And then smoothing the hair over the top of the backcombing gives you a little bit softer type of a look for a finished type of look. You definitely want to finish it off. The other thing is, if you're going to do it yourself, some of the easier things that you can do is you can pull it back into a nice ponytail. They're very hot right now. Just extremely smooth. And right in this back area, right above the occipital bone or the bone that sticks out, you want to put the ponytail in and just let it hang down with a little bit of a smooth bang. Bangs are very popular right now.
And when you talk about smoothing, what do you mean? What's that process?
Smoothing it out, you want to comb, you know, lightly on the hair, just ever so lightly, and then come in with, I use a non-aerosol or an aerosol hairspray and help smooth it out, and then come in with a silicone-based product which will help to smooth it out, and then softly touch it with your hands, and that smooths it out just a little bit more and adds some shine to the hair.
Okay. Well, coming up in the next half hour, we are going to see the finished product from Leanne, and I'm going to take the chair. We'll check in with you guys in just a little bit.
Man, all the time you wasted this morning getting your hair ready for the show. And Chris is
I
gonna,
know, right?
Chris is going to get it all dolled up for you.
I'm excited to see what she looks like. Leanne looks great.
Yeah, it's good to know that the Tri-States knows that Leanne had clean hair this morning because they had to add gunk to it to make it form.
It looks spectacular. Prom season is here, kind of switching gears a little bit. While most of the focus is on the dress, what you do with your hair could make or break your look.
Makes you want to look hot, right? KHUA's Melissa Shriver is live this morning at Christopher's to get some expert advice and some hairstyle tips of her own.
Yeah, look
Good morning,
at her.
Melissa.
Ah,
Hey, speaking of hot, do I look hot?
yes. Sizzling.
Hey, we are talking prom hairstyles, and I want you to listen to this fact. According to a study from Tresemme, an average woman spends $50,000 during a lifetime on hair products like shampoo, hairspray, just haircuts in general. Isn't that amazing? I just can't imagine after a lifetime, $50,000. That's a good investment, I guess, especially when you're starting to think about prom and wedding hairdos. It's nice to sometimes leave that to the professional. We are talking to a professional this morning, expert hairstylist here, Chris Kuchar. He is the owner and hairstylist here at Christopher's in Quincy. We're actually been working on Leanne's hair all day. How do you decide what kind of a hairstyle you would choose for a prom?
Well, you need to look at the hair texture, you need to look at the actual facial structure, the body structure. You also have to look at what they're wearing, you know, depending on if they're wearing off the shoulder, wearing a collar in their outfit, or if it's an asymmetric, like as I said earlier, Michelle Obama had the asymmetric type of a top off the shoulder. So sometimes you can do like your style with the asymmetric style, which is very important, and we're seeing that in trends of today, you know, like Jennifer Lopez wears that, and you know, Jennifer Aniston, you just see different people, the celebrities are wearing it. So it's really fun. We're seeing the hair up, half up sometimes with half down because of Leanne's hair being shorter. That's one of the better things that we could do. We also are seeing some of the hair for the girls are wearing it down, completely down in soft curls if they've got an off-the-shoulder outfit. It's just a nice way to do it.
Here's a couple of pictures. We want to show you a couple of pictures real quick of some of the trending hairstyles. Some of them are half up, half down. Some of them are on the side. When we talk about a hairstyle, we not only have to remember the dress, we have to think about the shortness of the hair and that type of thing. But what do you need to remember when you head to the stylist in general? Should you bring a picture? Should you wash your hair?
One of the best things you can do for the stylist if you're going into a salon is book your appointment ahead of time. As soon as you know when your prom, your wedding, whatever it is that you're going to be doing, that you schedule way ahead so that you can get the time that you want and the stylist, the individual stylist that you'd like to work with. The other thing is as we spoke earlier, having your hair a little bit dirty when you come in. Shampoo it the day before, but don't shampoo it that morning because it seems to be kind of soft when they do. You can also come in with pictures because pictures give an idea to the stylist so that they can better perform whatever it is that you're looking for and talk about the nature of your individual hair. If it's too fine or too thick for the individual style that you pick, you may be able to work with them and decide on something differently.
Yeah, a hairstylist has a lot of input too. They know what your hair can do and what your hair can't.
Exactly.
That's a good thing. Now we're going to unveil Leanne now. She's been under the cape for the full morning. This is Leanne with her half up, half down hairdo. We are going to twirl her around here so you can see. A lot of good work being done here at Christopher's this morning, bright and early. Again, we're talking prom, and tomorrow on KHQA this morning, we're going to be talking the all-important dress. That's coming up tomorrow.
Wait in line this morning at the salon.
Yeah, I bet not. I don't think they were probably banging down the door at 5:30.
Very nice, Melissa. Thanks so much.